Hi guys, I thought I would do a live video through YouTube, and I think I've maybe done one live video through YouTube before, so I'm pretty new to this. I've done live videos through Facebook and stuff like that, through Instagram stories, and I thought I would give this a try. We'll see how it goes. So completely unscripted, just kind of wanted to chat, and I wanted to talk about a topic that I saw a couple other YouTubers in the witchy or pagan community talking about today. And that was the idea that witchcraft in general is becoming trendy, or this is a wider trend in society, which is a really interesting idea. And some people get annoyed or frustrated by that fact, and some people are embracing it. So I thought I'd just share my 2 cents here. And while I'm talking, I'll be checking out the chat. So do please feel free to message or tell me your opinions, and maybe I'll bring it into the conversation because it's about the community. It's not just me and my thoughts, it's about what this means in general for us as a community. And one of the first thoughts I had when people are talking about the fact that witchcraft has become so trendy lately is I was thinking, well, in my view, it's kind of always been trendy to a certain extent because I started learning about witchcraft when I was pretty young, so 12, 13. This is in the late 90s. So that was when movies like The Craft and Practical Magic came out. So definitely message below if you if you've seen those movies, if they were part of your kind of going along this path or your discovery process. So I actually began learning about witchcraft or paganism from the pop culture trend at the time because it was trendy early on. And so we kind of went through this cycle of trend in the late 90s, early 2000s, and then maybe it phased out a little bit and now it's trendy again. So I think it's interesting to me that, I don't have an what they inspired me to start reading. They inspired me to read about this path and learn more. So for that component alone, the mere fact that I was inspired to pursue this further, I'm glad it was trendy in the late 90s, I guess you could say. And I think it's kind of a similar thing today. And social media is definitely making this or exacerbating this even more because things are more accessible than ever. Knowledge is more accessible than ever. So nowadays, there are plenty of young women. It's still mostly women, and I don't see that many male witches on social media yet. I know you're out there though. So, but you see a lot more young women who are discovering this path and who are posting about it because especially for either fellow millennials like me or younger generation Z, that's a big part of people's lives nowadays. I mean, there's a lot of issues with that. The fact that social media has become part of our big life, become a big part of our lives, but it's just the way it is, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. So of course, the young people are documenting their experience as they're going through this discovery process, just like I probably would have if it was back in the late 90s and I would have been cataloging and sharing my own discovery process. And it's really fun to see these younger pagans or these younger witches, and you get to experience that journey with them too. They're starting to learn about this path, and they might not have all the answers right away because no one does. I've been doing this for like 10 plus years. I definitely do not claim to have all the answers, but it's so great to watch that process. I think a lot of people get distracted or get frustrated by maybe the materialism aspect to it. Like a lot of people sell crystals. I mean, I do tarot readings, so I'm part of that world too. Full disclaimer, But at the same time, I mean, all the more power to them if they feel inspired, if this is how they want to live their lives, and if they're able to make a career out of it, then by all means. And some of them are really good. I mean, I really admire a lot of YouTubers and people I see on Instagram who are much younger than me, and they've just created such a large platform for them to share their journey with in such a short time. And I know probably a lot of people get frustrated if you've had like a pagan business for 10 plus years and then some young upstart, just gets 100,000 followers and gets all this press and stuff. I can see how that could be frustrating, but in the larger perspective, I think it's really great that so many young people are becoming interested in this path, or I guess you could just say from an even wider perspective, becoming interested in alternative spirituality. And I mentioned this in a video I did a while back, but I think it's something that is unique to what's going on now in the world in terms of religion and spiritual paths, because more and more people are leaving the religion they grew up with. I think it used to be a lot more where you would become the religion that your parents were and you would keep up that practice. But nowadays, a lot more people are questioning. And when it comes to witchcraft or paganism in general, part of the reason it's so tied in with women right now, and even tied in with like feminism and stuff in the media and everything like that, is because so many women are getting inspired by it. And it's very inspirational as a young woman to find a spiritual path that honors the sacred feminine and honors the sacred feminine in equal measure to the sacred masculine, because none of the major religions really do that. I mean, there are prominent female figures, but they're never equal. So when you first learn about the idea, like I did back in the day with Wicca, with, oh my God, there could be a goddess, there could be a god and a goddess, and that was just so like mind blown. It changed everything for me. I had no idea that there could be an aspect of the divine that was feminine, that I could embrace that, and that it would be equal to masculine, that there is a beautiful balance. And that's always been a huge thing that's inspired me about Wicca, is how well they explain balance between the elements, balance between the sacred masculine, the sacred feminine, the gods and the goddesses. I'm not really specifically Wiccan today, but there's so much inspirational within that path. I can see how it would be so immensely appealing to others. And I see a couple of you guys messaging now. Thanks for sharing your opinions. And I think one person mentioned how it's becoming more accepted in society too. And that's a really big deal. And it really wasn't the case necessarily when I was in high school back in the day, several years ago. I remember I tried to convince some friends to like practice, do rituals with me. It was really difficult. And one day I wore a pentacle to school, the necklace, and I got completely ridiculed. So it wasn't really accepted back then, and maybe it's more so now. So I actually had a lot of problems with that. I had a lot of struggle. I mean, not a lot, but it did ruin my reputation. I was captain of the cheer squad, so it kind of all went downhill from there the minute I started wearing a pentacle or sharing my ideas. And I had to take a break from it until, I picked it up again during college and went from there. But I wish it had been more accepting back then, and I feel like it is now. I mean, obviously there's a way to go, and I don't think Wicca or any pagan religions will ever really get a seat at the table, I guess you could say, a seat at the table with the other main religions and be respected in that way. Maybe it shouldn't, that's an idea too. But still, I think in a wider view on society and where things are headed, I see a really bright future for this path. I see that that more and more people are going to be inspired by things like Wicca, by things like witchcraft. They're going to be feel empowered by those practices. Because even though more and more people are leaving organized religion, I don't necessarily think that they're going to leave spirituality altogether. I think there's an innate drive within each of us to be questioning, and whether that comes out through a study of philosophy or a study of spirituality, or a practice of spirituality, it's up to them. But I think that that questioning aspect is something innate to what it means to be human. So just because people aren't going to church or synagogue anymore as much as they used to, doesn't mean that that side of their brain or their heart has disappeared. They're going to be seeking out something, some type of way to view the world through different lenses. So for me, when I see all these young people getting involved in this, I'm just really excited about it, honestly. And maybe I'm a bit biased because, you know, I'm on social media everywhere and stuff like that, and I find inspiration. But I think it's going to be good in general for society. And I know a lot of people too, they have a problem with what do they call it, like aesthetic witchcraft and stuff like that. And you see a lot of complaints about that, but even then I don't mind. I mean, if it's inspiring you, then it's a good thing. I think we should be bringing more beauty and art into the world, and photography is gorgeous, and it's a great difficult skill to develop. So anything that brings more beauty into my life or into the world in general, I'm probably going to be for. But those were just some of my initial thoughts, and there are plenty of YouTubers discussing this topic right now. I mean, I was just watching some videos this morning, so I thought I would do this little chat with you guys. But I really want to know your opinions on this. Where do you see witchcraft going? Where do you see alternative spirituality like Wicca or traditional witchcraft? Where do you see that going for the future? What do you think about the fact that this has become trendy in society? That's become almost fashionable. A lot of people doing the witchy look, you know, wearing the pentagrams, the cool black hat and stuff like that. What are your thoughts on what that means for society, and where do you think we're headed? So this is just a really kind of short chat I wanted to do with you guys. I would love to know, if you can comment, that would be great, on if you like live videos, if you like doing YouTube live and watching them, then I'll definitely do more of these candid chats. Or if you like, you know, more traditional videos. I'd also like to know what kind of topics you want me to discuss, because I've been doing a lot of tarot stuff lately. And I, of course, love tarot. I mean, it's my biggest hobby. It's my passion, and it's my job too. So I'd like to know if you like tarot videos, or if you want more kind of witchy stuff. I'm thinking about doing some more deep dives into some of the more historical aspects of paganism and things like that. So I'd love to learn more about what you guys want to see, and I hope you liked this video. And thanks everyone for who's joined me today, and I really appreciate it. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.